Right here on PM News. Good afternoon to you. In case you just tuned in, welcome. Increasing level of consumer indebtedness and the rising electricity prices are hitting retailers hard. That's according to the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa. The council is looking at the creation of sustainable enterprises in the sector at its annual two-day summit in Midrand.
Another factor that's inflicting pain on the consumer industry is the decline in consumer spending. The Consumer Goods Council says household disposable income is under pressure as a result of low economic growth locally. This is forcing companies to find creative ways to grow and sustain themselves as they can no longer pass the cost increases onto the consumer. All this comes ahead of the Christmas period, usually a boom time for consumer goods companies.
At the lower end of the market, right through to the middle sector, you find that there's a lot of pressure. Of course, in the higher end or the higher LSM market or the lifestyle measure, you find that there's still a little bit of liquidity. But at the bottom end of the market, there is a lot of pressure. Because as you can imagine, if there's less disposable income, people start to make choices on a very conservative basis. So you find that spending boom that characterized the period pre the global recession, that particular time has actually gone, and consumers are a lot more wary around how they actually, manage their particular spend.
The council says it's also looking to encourage the creation of SMMEs in the sector. New Small Business Development Minister Lindiwe Zulu says to achieve this, the industry and the country must stem the tide of cheap imports currently flooding the local market. She also explained government's goal of radical economic transformation.
If we can ask ourselves what is happening at the Johannesburg Joint Stock Exchange, if we can ask ourselves who actually is going out there in the African market to set up, if we can ask ourselves those questions, if we answer that question, then we'll understand exactly what is the meaning of radical economic transformation and what it seeks to do.
Despite the tough trading environment, the Consumer Goods Council says the next 20 years may just see the emergence of another major consumer goods company like Tiger Brands or Shoprite in South Africa. SABC News, Midrand.